Hello, everybody. It's me, MicheleMarieDalene, North American Snick Queen, and it is the 29th of May. I want to make sure I got that right because this morning's vlog I screwed up and I said the 30th of May. Because I wish it was the 30th of May. Today's topic will be kind of a technical vlog, but also a kind of a personal vlog, so it's kind of a combination of both. On the personal note is I finally got rid of AT&T for good, and I am now on T-Mobile, which makes me very happy. So now I will save some serious money. On the technical vlog, we're going to be talking about is that there's been a lot of people who are flaming T-Mobile on the Facebook page, saying the service stinks. Let me remind each and every single person that T-Mobile and all the other carriers have their own little problems in areas of the country. Some places of the country, your service could be absolutely positively fantabulous. In other areas, your service, not so much. Okay? When you choose a cellular carrier, you need to make sure you do your legwork. Now, it is true that T-Mobile's phone system, the hidden fees, that's the thing that they're trying to, that's what John Legere is trying to promote, is no hidden costs. They shouldn't say no contracts, but they should say there's no hidden costs or less of them. Because when you buy a phone from T-Mobile, okay, you pay a down payment on that phone. And then over 24 months, you can go for less than 24 if you really want, but most people go for 24 months. You pay about, depending on the phone, anywhere from $20 to $24 and for a smartphone. Which, depending on what kind of phone you're getting, may or may not be a good deal. Oh, but at least they don't charge you interest. No one seems to talk about that. There's no monthly interest or APR on that phone purchase. Okay, so in essence, yeah, T-Mobile got you in the sense that you're committed to completing your terms of your agreement, but there's nowhere it says that you have to pay just if you're $199 down and say $20 a month. Obviously, we're talking about a pretty top of the line phone for that price, okay? But it's a good example. Maybe like the iPhone 5 with Venus League, or maybe the Samsung Galaxy S4. Nobody said that you could not pay more than the $199 to lower your monthly amortized payments. And nobody said that the $20 a month that you couldn't pay them $40 instead and get the contract purchase agreement done within a year instead too. That's one important thing to remember. You have the ability to choose that if that's what you like to do. If you want to get the phone on a faster payment plan, you can choose to do so. Also, T-Mobile still encourages you to bring your own phone from AT&T. I happen to have my iPhone 3GS here from AT&T, which works. You really can't see it in the picture, but it says T-Mobile on the top and on the top or left-hand side. The only thing in Winston at this point is there is no 3G yet in Winston, but that's being fixed. They're working on the refarming of their network to be compatible with iPhones. So I'm just trying to point out is for those people who wanted to lambast T-Mobile, before you start blasting anybody, let me remind you, T-Mobile, unlike AT&T, has never really given you as many headaches to bring your own device to T-Mobile, okay? You pick up the SIM chip. They even offer this as an option. You pick up the SIM chip at the online or even at a T-Mobile store. Postpaid or prepaid, your choice. Okay? You put said SIM chip into your phone, either standard mini, micro, or nano. I call it mini is the full size chip. It's actually, if you include the card, some early StarTacs used the big card itself as a carrier, like a smart card for your satellite receiver. In others, you can pop the chip out. That's a mini SIM. A micro SIM is a little chip that's a little smaller. It's a little chopped off, and then of course you got the nano SIM, which is the smallest of all. Now, the nice thing about all these different SIM chips is that you can choose to use your own phone, as you have to do your own legwork. You have to ask yourself questions. For example, what features do you really want on your phone? I mean, where do you, for example, where are you going to be going? I mean, are you mostly staying in one area that pretty much where the towers and the services is covered in your areas you travel? Are you going to go very far? You want to pay extra for being for another carrier that lets you go further and have more features but more costs? Yeah, there's a balancing trade. It's a yin and yang kind of thing. Like I said once before, you have to choose which one you want. Now, in my case, I live in Winsted. Okay. Now, I don't talk much because of my hearing loss. I'm more of a Weber than a talker. I text some, but not really a lot. And I like to be able to have a phone that has a GSM phone, so I can use SIM chips, because then I have the ability to take my phone and put my SIM chip into another phone. And I can change phones like I can change socks or dresses. So I don't have to worry about for you go with a CDMA phone, you have to call customer support, and they only tell you only be able to use certain phones as long as they're approved for the network. You got to give them the ESN every time you're traveling or change phones out. I had that problem with Altel, and I know people have had the problem with Verizon. With GSM, it's just more proactive. That is, your SIM chip has got your smarts, but it allows you to take that SIM chip, that's why it's called subscriber identity module, and put that SIM chip into another phone, and now that phone becomes your phone. There's some nice SVP cell phone GSM watches I'm looking into. Some of them are very simple, nice little watches that just tell the time and have a touch tone keypad on it, and you can make phone calls with it. Others are complete smartphones on your wrist. Okay? The point I'm trying to get at is as long as it uses a SIM chip that's the same size as all my other phones do, which are standard micro or mini SIM chips, I can take that SIM chip, pop it from the iPhone 3GS into an SVP phone that's a smartwatch phone, or I can put it into a SVP dumbwatch phone, so at least I can still make phone calls while still having a phone nearby without being able to worry about looking at a big fancy phone around the house. It's an option, okay? Also, if you are blind or disabled like me, you're going to want to have a phone that may be a little more better. For example, if you got like a smart tablet, like iPad, with 3G support, you're going to want to put, I don't know if that uses a micro or nano, but let's just say it uses a mini just to make it easy. I think the early iPads were using the standard mini SIMs. The point is that you can take that SIM chip, put it into that device, and now everything is transferred to that device. Boom, just like that. Okay, that's cool. But the thing that most people on the T-Mobile page is doing is they're not really likers at all. There's a few people who sit there and they're trying to rouse up a riot against T-Mobile. First of all, let's be honest here. I'm not saying any provider is good or necessarily great or better than everybody else. In some areas, you can only get one or the other. So then, say the other that you can't get is crap is unfair. The customer service at T-Mobile, from talking to them on the phone, seemed to be pretty reasonable. I didn't have a problem with that. Okay? to sit there and say that the cell phone service is crap. It's not fair either. It's not necessarily, top of the edge. I mean, I'm only getting 2G, okay? I'm not sitting there, I'm going to bitch about that, okay? They are working on it, okay? They just purchased Metro PCS so that they can add more capacity and make the service provide more coverage. That's what they're doing with T-Mobile, because they're going to be closing all the CDMA, Metro PCS towers, and replacing infrastructure in areas that they need more coverage. That takes time, and it's not something where you're going to get it done tomorrow. Look, it took me at least 2 years for Winston to get T-Mobile, and that was, because I was one of the people who explained to T-Mobile that we need Winston coverage. Okay? Winston is a good example of what happens when you proactively tell T-Mobile, and I did. I said, look, you put T-Mobile in Winston, and I will consider coming back to you. But right now, I'm stuck on a 2-year contract with AT&T, and I can't. Okay? The contract expired for AT&T, and I kept my promise, and I did return to T-Mobile because I like the service. Their sound quality isn't bad. Hey, 5 gigabytes of unlimited high-speed data? I mean, let me explain the 5 gigabyte because it gets confusing because it sounds almost like a paradox. 5 gigabytes of 4G HSPA plus data capability. Okay, I don't get that. But am I going to sit there and bitch? Now, I'll tell you something. I still send videos up to YouTube on my phone. I still am Facebooking on my phone. I am still emailing. I am still texting. I am still doing everything, including paying my bills. That is exactly what is a big deal. And also, did I already tell you that porting my phone number only took me about half a night, about less than 5 hours to get my phone number ported from AT&T to T-Mobile? Did I tell you that the customer service representative I talked to, despite my hearing loss, made every effort possible to make sure that I understood exactly what I was doing? Do you understand how important it is for a person who has hearing or disabilities to be able to reach out and talk to them? Do you realize if I was to bring a special phone for a person who's totally blind, has braille display, from say like Telesensory Industries or whatever, and I brought it over to AT&T, what's AT&T? And I go, well, we went to sign up for a 2-year contract, and you got to choose one of our own phones. I'm sorry, your braille phone is not compatible with our network. Even if the thing does support GSM, even if the thing did have 3G, even if the thing did do everything, and they're still trying to market their phones. T-Mobile isn't doing that. Okay? T-Mobile doesn't care if you're using Nokia 6340i or an iPhone 3GS or an SVP wristwatch phone. It doesn't matter. Or a phone from China like the Motorola's. It's you choose to use those phones with those carriers. You choose the phone. You just have to make sure you do the research ahead of time to make sure that it's going to be compatible with their equipment. That's your responsibility. You also need to choose a plan and a service provider that is going to provide you with the services that you deem important. If you're not a heavy texter, and if you think, or if you're, then maybe, but you hardly talk on the phone at all, but you do a lot of webbing, then yeah, okay, you choose a plan that fits that. If you are a heavy talker and a fairly heavy texter, and you want to go for low cost, and you're not really too much worried about the data, then you can choose a plan for that too. T-Mobile has two $30 a month plans, folks. The first plan provides you with 1,500 minutes. I call this the Talk Lovers plan, okay? 1,500 minutes plus unlimited texting. Plus, you get about 4 500 megabytes of data. For some people, that's fine. If you don't even if you only got a 2G phone, such as a Nokia 6340i, which doesn't even do 2G, or a Samsung Galaxy S, well, let's get it in the smartphone league. But look, I might as well mention, if you spend most of your time at home on your Wi-Fi with the Samsung Galaxy S, it doesn't matter. You're gonna want to save money. But if you're a yakhead, you're gonna want to have the more minutes. Okay. If you want the data lovers plan, it's again the same price from Walmart. Okay, you can get it on the website. This one gives you 100 minutes of yak, plus unlimited texting, plus 5 gigabytes of data up to HSPA plus. Even if you go over, the speed goes down to about 2G. But if in the case of Winston, you're already going 2G anyway. So I guess that means it's pretty new. You're basically not going to lose out. Okay? All of this, to some people, may seem atrocious, and to other people, this is great. People on disability who wants a phone that can do data. People on disability who wants to use their older phones that they already have purchased, that's GSM and unlocked, and want to use it with T-Mobile. Or people who buy even a T-Mobile branded phone on eBay. Who with the phone is not stolen and all that. You can take that phone with you. You can plop in your SIM chip and you can go, baby. You can have fun. I mean, yeah, there could be limitations, restrictions, but I guess that's the way it is with anything, right? You have to do the research. Don't say T-Mobile sucks just because you don't like it. If you don't like it, then you should say, honestly, I may have made a bad choice. Okay, if you made a bad choice, that's okay. Everybody does. It's at least if it's prepaid, you don't have to worry about trying to get out of a contract because the contract doesn't exist. You just stop using the service when your minutes run out. You throw the SIM chip in the trash can, and your problems are over. Okay, that's all you have to do. You don't even have to worry about paying ETFs. Anyway, as far as the phone purchase goes, if you choose to go to T-Mobile purchases, they actually are offering a discount on those phones. They're not quite full price because if you choose to go get the iPhone 3GS, iPhone 4S, they don't have a 3GS, but they might have a 4, they definitely have the 5. They have the 5, they have the 4S. You can buy the phone outright, up front. Try to do that on eBay. Try to go out there and buy an inexpensive 4S from somebody. There's a huge markup on phones on eBay. And you know what? Those phones are not necessarily, unless they're a major seller, are not necessarily guaranteed. If somebody actually had an iPhone 4S and they had it and they didn't pay their cell phone bill or they decided to walk away from the service, that phone will be considered blacklisted, and that means that you wouldn't be able to activate it anyway. So that means that the phone basically, especially if it's declared lost or stolen, means that phone is now, guess what? Garbage. At least if you get it from T-Mobile or from your other provider and you completed your terms of your contract, is no problem. By the way, coming up in a few months, we're going to be looking into getting something called the T-Mobile Spark. It's actually made by Alcatel. It's actually a very inexpensive. It's a T-Mobile to go phone. It's prepaid phone. Okay, I'm gonna get one of them, even though it's kind of very entry level, only because it's got a real QWERTY keyboard on it, so I can type on it, kind of like the Sidekick. So you'll be able to do things like web and text on it and stuff. That's, to me, is a plus. And it does have a camera, but it's supposedly not much better than my camera I'm using here for this video. But you know what? I don't know, because I haven't had too many problems with this camera at all. It works pretty good. And so that's something to think about. Also, we're going to be having a few hot days on Thursday and Friday. It will cool off eventually by Sunday, Monday. Sunday and Monday, of course. Um, Monday will be bill day, so we'll take care of all the bills. So we're gonna suspend the satellite dish for a while after I pay the bill off, um, just to save a little money. And so main reason so I can pay the AT&T bill when it comes due next month, because they're gonna charge me a final bill. They are, and like I said, I want to remain in good standing with AT&T in case I ever need to go back with them again. You never know. Things happen. You move. You go places. Your phones break. AT&T, T-Mobile might decide to take away the Winston Tower. Whatever. You'll have that option to go back and use the other carrier. Right now, there's only two major GSM providers in the United States right now. You got your AT&T and you got your T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the lesser of the two. However, um, you know, um, this is all new that John Legere is doing, all these new uncarrier things. So it's really kind of a gamble for T-Mobile. Well, I looked at the stock right now in T-Mobile per share. It is very much on the rise. T-Mobile is doing very well. Okay, share wise. It's the ticker symbol is TMUS. It's on the New York Stock Exchange. So, they merged with Metro PCS, as I said. So there will be some changes coming up in a few months to go. One of the things will be is that they are going to be phasing out the CDMA and going with GSM. So obviously, for Metro PCS customers, you will probably be receiving a notice in the mail as they go, telling you that you should go to your new T-Mobile store and pick up your new phone. Now, like I said, with GSM, you don't necessarily need to buy a T-Mobile phone. You can go any unlocked phone that supports 1900 megahertz will work very well with T-Mobile in your area if your T-Mobile service provider is 1900. This is a local thing that you need to check. Some areas that I know about T-Mobile, for the most part, is all 1900, but you never know. You might run into one because they originally got some old AT&T bandwidth that may be 850, 900. So you want to have a phone, preferably, that will work with the T-Mobile service areas that you travel in. So if you can get a dual band phone, US frequencies, then you're great. If you only got a single band, well, then choose the phone band that for areas that you're working in that works for you. The Nokia 5190, for example, is a phone that does 1900 GSM. And it provides the basic texting and things like that. There's a better one, the 6190, which has a few more features. That's more for a person who's more interested in busyness, including a date planner and a calendar and things like the to-do list. A Nokia 6340i kind of lives up to the 5190, except it's dual band. It's actually tri-format phone. It's analog, okay. It's TDMA, and it also supports GSM. So technically, the Nokia 6340i, in the right circumstances, can be used for all three. You'll have to just find a carrier that would necessarily activate it for the other networks providers. So if you want to go with the Nokia 6340i, it's a great phone overall, and it's kind of small. It's a Nokia. It's still pretty tough, I've had my Nokia 6340i for a long time. It does not really have web. It used to use something called CSD, which it doesn't use anymore, but that's okay. Do you really want to get stuck webbing at 14.4 bits per second? 14,400 bits per second? I guess if you really are desperate, since even Edge is a little bit faster than that. Or at least it's supposed to be. My experience with T-Mobile speed is I have seen speeds close to that of a 56K modem, an Edge. So about 52 kilobits per second. Not really great, but you know what? It's in some cases it's better than no service at all. So I mean, I got McDonald's I can go to. Or there's other coffee shops near it that have 3G or have Wi-Fi. I have the libraries. So of course I have my home. So it's not really a big deal if I don't have Wi-Fi. Always at the soup kitchen where I do a lot of my vlogs because I can just come home and then I get picks up my Wi-Fi signal on my iPhone 3GS and then someone just send the videos up that way. That's the easiest way to do it. So make sure that before you choose any carrier, you do the legwork, the research, and stop saying T-Mobile sucks, especially if you really haven't decided to do the proper legwork and research ahead of time. Then you should really say it this way: I'm the one who sucks because I'm the one who did not look into the research and ask the people that were using T-Mobile in my area. Okay? No one is going to sit there and tell you that you have to choose to use a carrier you don't like. Sometimes it may only be your only choice, depending on the areas you're in. But okay, that happens with everybody. So sometimes you just have to take the best with the best. Okay, I did not want 18 to go with Verizon or Sprint when I moved to Wednesday from Torrington. I wanted to stick with T-Mobile, but the unfortunate choice was the only I had was AT&T, which I kept my contract with AT&T for 2 years, and then I did upgrade to the iPhone 3GS, but then again, so I kept it for another 2. But then I decided that I wanted to go back to T-Mobile, and I now have taken my iPhone 3GS with me to T-Mobile, so it makes me happy too. So, talk to you soon. Don't forget to like and share, and of course, give any comments you'd like to give. Please do. I will answer them as fast as I can, alright? And that's always been my way. And by the way, I'm glad this morning that my video looked a lot better than it did yesterday. I don't know what it is. Every now and then when I leave off the foundation, I look horrible. And sometimes I look fine. I guess one of the ones is because my hair is growing out and the hair was kind of grubby and so my hair was sticking up like this and I was like, that's just sometimes the way it goes, I guess. The point is my hair is washed now, it's clean, and of course on the 4th of June it will be retouched again and get it ready to go. By the way, I also want to give my mother a heads up. I hope that you will indeed accept my friendship request, and perhaps we could finally begin the process of making positive inroads into peaceful dialogue, which we really should be doing anyway. Okay, so everybody, you have a nice day. See you soon. Bye.